Hi, I'm Corolla, and on Instagram I'm at From Corolla. In this video, I'm going to share and reveal my 2024 planner and journal lineup. If you haven't watched my 2023 review of my planners and journals that I used in 2023, some things that worked for me, some things that didn't work for me, and changes that I made for this coming year, take a look. I will include that at the top so you can quickly watch that, and if that's of interest for you. And then you can come and see, what I chose and why this would work for me, just in case you're interested for yourself. So I'm going to dive right in. My main planner is going to be a Sterling Ink N2 week size planner. So this is the N2 full year, so 520 pages, 1 page per day of undated notes pages in the back. It's a vertical planner, so I'm going to do a quick flip through if you're not familiar with it. I pre-ordered this in June, and it was just based off of the fact that I love the week size. I think it's perfect for daily planning, and I love the idea of a hybrid bullet journal, so having a monthly and weekly layout, but then having undated daily pages really works for me and is very functional for me. So this is basically how I've set it up so far. I haven't really written anything in it, but I have little sticky notes that help me plan my setup and what I'm going to put in here come January. So I'll go through my sticky notes as well, just so you know how I'm going to use my planners. This little section in the front I'm going to use as my future log, so jotting down at a yearly overview of what I want to get done for the year. These 2 blank pages I'm going to just use as writing down my intentions for the book. I do this with every book. I write down what I intend to fill it up with, and I can always refer back to it throughout the year. And this goal breakdown I really like. I will use it for my goals for the year, and then also past that year. So it's a great reference page, I think. Then the quarterly overview, I'm going to use each monthly block as a log. So I'm going to jot down anything that I want to get done for the month beforehand. The yearly sort of overview, I don't know what you call this, but it's quarterly, I guess. So quarterly overview, I will put down my habits on this side. So I'll probably use, I'll write it down this way, and I'll X or use a dot marker and just fill this out whenever I get the habit done. And then this bottom page section I will use for bills paid, so I know that bills have been paid. That's how I'll use the quarterly section. Then we get into the monthlies and how I want to use the monthlies. Basically here I'll track mail. So I love tracking Happy Mail, things that I ordered, when I ordered it, when they've been shipped, and when I've received them. So on this side, I'll just jot down what I purchased and track it that way. So when I receive it, I'll just X it off. And then in the actual blocks, I'll put in when I purchase something, etc. So I can track how long it takes for things to get to me. I'll also use this section for events. So I love having an overview of my schedule, basically. So appointments and things that are going to be happening in that month. And then this little section down here, I'm going to separate in half, and I'll use this section for new stationery that I got. It helps me track how much ink, pens, books, things like that, things that I purchase or have been gifted during that month. And on this side, this little section, I'll put in my wish list, so things I really want to get in that month. And sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't, but I like jotting down stuff to look forward to. So that's how I will use the monthly section. The weeklies, If you watch my review video, you'll know that I've decided, or I've realized, that I'm a vertical weekly planner person. Horizontal, I just don't really connect with. But vertical, I love seeing when appointments are throughout the week. So basically, I'll jot down appointments based on the time and some reminders along the side here. So I love having this weekly overview as well as the monthly. So those will sort of work hand in hand. This little section up here where basically there's no timeline, I'm going to jot down the page that will correspond to the daily notes section. So I really love that the undated notes pages still have numbers on the bottom. So I can always jot down quickly what page this would refer to. So that's how I'm going to use the vertical weekly section. Then we get into the undated dailies. And I love that there's one page per day. I don't have to obsess about whether I'm going to run out of space. I will not run out of space. I will probably have extra pages left over because that's always what happens, right? So that's fine. But this blank page that's not numbered, I'm going to just use as an index. And basically my daily layout is going to be, I'll jot down the date and then I'll write priority items in the first section. So you'll see that there's, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Sterling Ink planners, but there's this handy sort of, these handy dots that can separate your pages in halves and in thirds. So the first third here, I'm going to use for priority items. Then I'm going to write down my to-dos, things that I want to get done. And then I'll probably jot down like ideas, thoughts, notes throughout the day kind of thing. Because I don't know if I need a full page of to-dos every single day. But I kind of like having the space for writing down things that I need. And again, I love the week size because it's portable and I can carry it around with me. I can jot down things as I need. I'll be using a Pilot vanishing point because it's so easy to click. It's a fountain pen. It's just with black ink. So I'll be using that. The second book that I got is the Hobonichi Weeks. I got the cat's cover. Not because I really need it, but because I just love the cat cover. It's so cute. I love cats. I love the color. So I pre-ordered the Sterling Ink planner in June, and then Hobonichi released their lineup in September, or I guess they teased them in August, and then they released it in September. And I really, really wanted the cat's cover. So if you saw my review video, you know that the Hobonichi Weeks just doesn't work for me as a daily planner. And it's just, you know, the horizontal style, as well as the limited amount of notes pages. But I really wanted this. So the way I'm going to use this in 2024 is sort of more for fun than for functional, but it has a functional purpose. So we'll see if it lasts for the year. But how I'm going to use it is basically as a project manager. So it'll be social things as an affiliate or ambassador. There are certain obligations that I need to fulfill, and I will be using this as a way to organize that. So not necessarily plan for things like that, but organize them. So organize my projects, whether it's personal or for social commitments. And then in the monthly, I'm going to just put like highlights, things that I want to remember that happened in a social or project context. So not necessarily my daily life, if that makes sense. And then in the weeklies, I'm going to just put anytime there's a launch for one of the brands that I represent, or when I work on a project and finish a project, things like that. And this section will be a weekly log of social content. So social posts that I want to put out there, and And when I do, I'll just cross it off and that will be done. The notes section I'm going to use for basically that, just notes about projects that I'm working on, maybe brainstorming, things like that. And then the number of the project or the number of the page will probably, I'll put it into the monthly as a reference. So I'll use it as a reference point for when I start a project or I finish a project. Any notes that correspond to that project, I'll list out here. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, but basically my Sterling Ink N2 planner will be my workhorse. It will be my daily hybrid bullet journal for everything that goes on in my life. And the Hobonichi Weeks will be a project manager, kind of just for fun. I'm experimenting with it, so we'll see how it goes. I do love using the weekly sized notebooks. So this one I'm going to use the same way as I did this year actually in 2023, is for tracking chores that are done in the house and financial, like budget planning and things like that. So things that don't necessarily need to go into one of my planners, but I like having it as a separate book to carry around if I have to. And I love that they both fit into my Bujo planner cover. I love this cover. It's so soft leathery. Anyways, enough about covers. But basically, I love that there's 2 books in here that I can carry around, and it's pretty portable. So I don't mind that it's sort of chunky in that way. But one thing I did learn from 2023 is I loved having the plotter as an everyday carry, and I will continue to use it as an everyday carry. I got the monthly inserts. The monthly inserts? Yeah, the monthly inserts. This is a mini 6. So they're kind of, small, but it's a great just, to jot down quickly events and appointments as they come up. And then I will transfer them over to my regular planner. And I also got the weekly inserts. So they come in this 2-page per week. On the left hand side is the week, and on the right hand side is sort of just blank space. And I'm going to use this just as a weekly log on the go. So if I need to remember things that I need to do during a certain week, I'll put them in here. And again, I'll transfer them over to my main planner when I get home. It's also a great travel planner. This is what I found in 2023. I'll carry this around when I travel, just because it's so easy to insert pages and recycle them after I'm done. So this is definitely going to be my EDC, everyday carry planner. And that's kind of it for my planning. So one thing that I have learned and realized in 2023 and will continue into 2024 is having functional books and creative books. So everything that I'm going to show you in my 2024 lineup basically falls into functionality or creativity. So for example, my bullet journal or hybrid bullet journal, the Sterling Ink Planner and the Hobonichi Weeks, as well as the plotter, they fall into functionality because I need them to be functional. So, planning, projects, things on the go. These are all functional things. And the other 2 books that also fall into my functional category are this new book that I'm introducing into my lineup in 2024. It's the Hobonichi 5-year planner in A5, and I have the leather cover for it too, which I love the feel of. But I got it because, again, in 2023 I used a Hobonichi planner, English in A6. I found that I love having an archive. So basically I write down everything that happens in the day so I can always reference it in the future if I have to. But I found that using one book as a journal or planner for it, for that purpose, it just took a lot of time. It was a lot of effort in a day to update a page. So having this is great because not only does it only require, a few sentences per day, but I can year over year look at, things that happened. And that's basically the point of having an archive book. So I'm definitely happy with the fact that I'm going with an A5 5-year. And it's definitely going to be a functional book for me. The other functional book, or the last functional book, I guess, it's going to be the Sterling Ink passport size common planner. And I pre-ordered this because it's passport and it's so cute. Why would I not get this? I didn't really know what I was going to use it for when I pre-ordered it in June. So I've thought about it a lot, and as I get older, obviously, I need to track more things that have to do with my health and wellness and fitness. So I'm going to dedicate this passport size book to tracking my health, fitness, wellness, that kind of thing. So how I'm going to use this is basically just for that. Like, I'll have goals throughout the year of what I want to achieve in terms of my health. Quarterly, I'm going to, again, I'll have my goals and I'll jot down notes that are about my lifestyle changes. So anything that I change during the month that might affect my health that I want to remember, I'll jot down here. This section I'll use for workouts. So I'll use a dot marker, which I used this year as well. And I really like that system of just quickly, a dot for which workout I've done that day. That's how I will use the quarterly section. And the monthly section, I'm going to note when I have medical visits, when I'm sick, any weight updates. And then I'm also going to have this little section here at the bottom for highlights during that month. So anything I'm really proud of or happy about, or things I have to remember. The weekly section I'm going to use for blood pressure tracking. So that's something that I need to do usually on a daily basis. So I'll write down, what time. I'll use the timeline to track when I took my reading. And that's a great way of having this when I visit my doctor. I can always pull this out and we have the numbers in front of us. And this top section, similar to some of my other planner, in this section I'll put down a corresponding notes page if it's applicable, if I need to reference a notes page. And that's basically how I'm going to use the undated notes section. Is this page will be the index, and then after that it will be more information or context around anything to do with my health. So if I wasn't feeling well, then maybe some context around what was going on, just as a reference point. So that's how I plan on using it. That's how I'm going to start using it. So look out for my update on whether I do continue using it that way. But I think it's a great way of having a cute sized journal or planner to track important things in my life, such as medical, health updates. So those are basically my functional books. There were 5 of them. And then my next category is creativity or creative books. And one thing that will fall into that for sure is memory keeping. And I love memory keeping. I've always had a book where I journal and use stickers and things like that to put down highlights of what happened. So this, for 2024, I'm going to use a standard size traveler's notebook. And this is how I've set it up. Just in case you're interested in setting up a traveler's notebook and want to do it the same way. So what I did was I added one of these folders, these craft folders. I actually flipped it so that it's not facing inwards, but it's facing outwards. And what that does is it gives you 2 pockets to put things in if you need to. And then I also put one of these sticker books. I used the main string, and I put a sticker book as well as a card file. And what I'm putting in here actually are just stickers and washi cards and things like that. And then in the sticker book, I'll put down some stickers that I use often, or stickers that I want to use in my memory keeper. And I'm going to be using the Sterling Ink N1 Compact Vertical. So what that means is it's not a full year in terms of notes pages. It's a slimmer book, so it fits into my traveler's notebook easily with other inserts. And it's a vertical weekly because, again, I love the vertical layout. This first page, I'm going to use a dot marker just to signify important birthdays and anniversaries. And then I'm going to list out the anniversaries and what year they would, the 2024 year would mark. Then the blank grid pages that follow, I'm going to do a quick 2024 start. So just, my thoughts going into a new year. And then at the end of the year, I'm going to do a quick reflection on how that year went. In the quarterly or the goals section, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use them. How I'm going to use these 2 pages because I'm not using this book as a planner or a goal tracker. So I'll probably just end up using it in a different way. The quarterly pages, I'm going to note when any member of my family visits the doctor, or when we get certain things, medication, stuff like that, just so that I have it here as a quick reference page. And then a little bit more detail about our visits. And I think these monthly blocks, I'm going to just list out anything that has to do with my family that I might need to reference later. So that's how I think I'll use the quarterly pages. And my monthly pages, basically monthly highlights is how I would use it. So I use some stickers and things like that. But I love having a monthly overview of basically what happened in that month. Just, it's a great reference, but also it's a great way of seeing, the fun things that happened in a month. And that's how I will use the monthly section. The weekly pages, I'm going to have weekly highlights. And again, it's vertical. I love the timeline. Some things I do put in based on when they occurred in that day, but other things I just, I don't base it on the actual time. I'll just put a sticker over and, what happened in that day. But I think the vertical layout really works for my brain for some reason. I like seeing things, going from top to bottom and across the week. So I'll use this for highlights, and then the top section again, I'll use for page reference. So we'll get into the daily section, which is undated, and there are less pages than 1 per day. This I will use as my index because it's not numbered. And then day 1, I will probably page 1, I will actually break it out in 3s, and during the day, I'll just write down highlights and events as they occur. And I really liked doing that in my Hobonichi in 2023, except I just don't need like a separate notebook or book for that purpose. So that's what I'm going to do here is throughout the day, I'll quickly write down prompts that I want to use for journaling. And also just quick highlights of things that happened. And then at the end of the day, or at the end of the week even, I'll have them as reference to go back and do some creative memory keeping. So I love using stickers from the Coffee Monsters Co. and other shops, and washi and things like that. It's just a creative outlet for me. So I like doing that at the end of the week. And sometimes I do it, every other day. So I think I'll continue doing stuff like that. So memory keeping and highlights is basically the purpose of this book, and it definitely falls into creativity because I kind of just need this as a creative outlet. And that's how my memory keeper is set up. My second creative outlet is going to be continuing this Hobonichi 5-year A6. In my review, I mentioned that I started off, this is my 2024 will be my 3rd year in this book. And I started off this book with gratitude journaling, and also on the right hand side I would do some painting or drawing using fountain pen ink and a glass tip pen. Midway through 2023, I think, I switched over to, instead of calling it gratitude, I borrowed the phrase today's little joys from Morgan Harper Nichols, who's a great writer. And the idea is today's little joys are basically just little things that happen throughout the day that makes me smile or brought me a little bit of joy. And I like that because it's not as big as gratitude, where I was trying to think of, big things that I was grateful for every day. Instead, I'm focusing more on the little things that accumulate to great joys in my life. So I'm going to continue using the 5-year for that purpose. And I think the last section or last system of creativity is they're going to be traveler's notebook inserts. And in this cover, I have just a lightweight insert. So this is the Tomoe River paper insert because they're very thin pages and they're blank. And I'm going to use this insert as a daily journal. One thing that I really enjoyed in 2023 was using the Common Planner from Sterling Ink as my journal. And I liked that it was undated because there wasn't a lot of pressure to fill out 1 page per day. So I'm going to use that sort of same idea, but in the Traveler's Notebook insert. So what I did, I actually got the daily calendar from Eric Small Things, because I love this designer. And I'm going to, whenever I rip out or tear out the page in the calendar, I'll stick it to my journal, and then I'll quickly, jot down my thoughts around the day. So my memory keeper is a little bit different because it's just highlights from the day, and they're like high level highlights. So just things that happened. This will be more about, what my thoughts were during that day, how I felt, was it a great day, stuff like that. And I'll also use it for collaging because I actually love collaging as a creative outlet as well, using washi, PET, stickers, paint, stuff like that. So the way that I've set up this cover actually is I've put in, using the main elastic, I put in this pouch, clear pouch, and it comes with like a folder insert on the other side, and that's where I've put in my lightweight insert. And then in the middle is a sticker book, the sticker release paper, and in here I just have commonly used PET things that I've cut out and put in, and then I have the canvas, I think it's a canvas wallet insert, and in here I'll just throw in things, washi, stickers and stuff like that. The idea is I can use this journal at home, but I can also take it with me when I'm traveling. So what I would do is throw in commonly used washi and stickers and stuff like that, and carry this with me, and it's basically all I need to journal about my day while I travel. So that's how I want to use this cover and this insert. There are a couple of other inserts that I will continue into 2024. One that I mentioned in my 2023 review is this book review insert, and it's basically just notes about books that I've read. I actually started this in 2022, so there's a few pages left, so I will definitely start a new one sometime in 2024. But I'll start the year off with this, and I love jotting down books that I read and thoughts about each book. So I'll do that. And then the other insert is a passport size plain book or insert, and I use this for small trips. I started this actually in 2022 as well. So I'll take it with me into 2024. And it's just basically when I've traveled somewhere and I have some ephemera or stickers that I want to add in. That's what this insert is for. So that's basically my lineup. If you have any questions, let me know. If I missed anything or left anything out, let me know. If you have any questions about setup or more details that you need about how I'm using them. Thank you so much for watching it. I'll do an update sometime in January probably of how I actually started the year. This is my plan as of December. So things can change, things can be added, things can be taken away, of course. And I will see you then. Take care and let me know in the comments what you're starting your 2024 year off with. What are you excited to use? Things that you may have learned that you're going to continue using, or things that you've decided to change and maybe you're trying something new. I would love to know. Let me know in the comments and we'll chat. I'm Corolla on Instagram. I'm @FromCorolla. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.